The Beggar and the Businessman, A Blooming Life. Once upon a time, in a small, dusty railway station on the outskirts of a bustling city, there sat a beggar. Every single day, from the moment the sun peeked over the horizon until the last train rumbled into the night, he sat in the same corner, worn shawl draped over his shoulders, a tin can beside him, and eyes filled with silent hope. As passengers passed by, he stretched out a trembling hand and softly asked, "A coin, kind soul, anything helps." Some spared him change, some ignored him. A few offered a pitying glance, but most walked past as if he were invisible. This was his life, one of hardship, hunger, and humility. Days bled into nights, and years into one another. One morning, a man in a suit, polished shoes, and eyes that burned with purpose stepped off the train. He looked wealthy, important, confident. The beggar instinctively reached out and mumbled his usual plea. The man stopped. He looked at the beggar, not with pity, but with curiosity. "You ask for something," the businessman said calmly. "But tell me, what do you have to offer in return?" The beggar blinked. "Sir, I'm just a beggar. I have nothing." "Nothing?" The businessman raised an eyebrow. "So you only take but give nothing? Do you believe the world owes you something for free? Have you ever given anything to anyone without expecting something back?" The beggar lowered his eyes. I have nothing, sir. What can I possibly give?" The businessman stepped back and adjusted his watch. "I am a businessman. I believe in balance, give and take. If you have nothing to offer, I have nothing to give you." And just like that he walked away, disappearing into the crowd. Those words pierced deeper than any hunger pang the beggar had ever known. That night he did not sleep. "I get little because I give nothing," he thought. "Am I just a vessel for need, never forgiving?" The next morning, something within him shifted. He woke up early and wandered around the station and nearby fields. He picked wildflowers, marigolds, jasmine, and roses from unattended gardens, roadside bushes, and temple courtyards. He bundled them in little bunches with twine he found in trash bins. And that day, when someone dropped a coin in his tin, he offered them a flower with a gentle smile. The reaction was magical. People's faces lit up, children giggled, old ladies blessed him. Some came back the next day, not just to give, but to receive that little flower of joy, and in return, they gave more. Coins clinked generously in his tin. For the first time, he felt the warmth of giving. Days turned into weeks, and his giving flowers for kindness act became famous among daily commuters. With time, he saved enough to buy fresh flowers from a nearby farm. Then, a small pushcart. Then a stall near the station. Eventually he opened a small flower shop. Years later, the same station bore witness to a curious scene. The once forgotten corner now stood adorned with flower garlands and petals. Dressed in a simple but neat kurta, the man behind the business, now called Pushpraj Florals, stood tall and proud. His hair had grayed, but his eyes sparkled like a spring morning. Just then, a familiar figure stepped onto the platform. The businessman. Still wearing a suit, still commanding presence. He looked around and paused. The flower merchant walked up to him with folded hands and a smile. "Do you recognize me, sir?" The businessman peered closer. "You look familiar. I'm the beggar you once spoke to. Right here. Years ago." The businessman's eyes widened. The flower merchant smiled and said, "That day, you didn't give me a single coin, but you gave me something far more valuable. A lesson. You said, if you have nothing to offer, I have nothing to give you." Those words shook me, woke me, and today, because of that, I no longer beg. I bloom. I give something to the world now. The businessman looked around. The garlands, the happy customers, the fragrance of fresh flowers everywhere. He extended his hand. "And you, my friend, are the best return on investment I've ever seen." They shook hands and the entire station erupted in applause. Moral of the story. Life responds not just to what you take, but what you give. Even the smallest act of giving can bloom into a future far greater than you can imagine.